Hey, it's PIERCY with Real Estate Modo. So bringing you video 3, step 3 in our 5-step process to finding the right property here at the beach, condo, investment property, whatever your goal is. Hopefully you've enjoyed the first couple as we're kind of working our way through this process. So this is talking about kind of what you can afford, and really we talk a little bit about the kind of the lending world and how it's different for these types of properties than what you kind of may be useful with. So if it's a cash purchase, not that it completely isn't relevant, because when we dive into the numbers a little bit, it makes some sense for you. But this is talking about kind of the way that the loan world works for these types of properties without getting super technical. And I can't get technical about it if you kind of understand the financing world. But basically, these types of properties that have the ability to be rented short term, if you think about it, has a front desk potentially in the building, even if you don't use it. The term is it's a non-warrantable property. What that means is that your big guys like your Bank of America, Wells Fargo, typically they're going to give you a loan on a property and they're going to sell it tomorrow on the secondary market to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, some of those government-backed entities, and those are warrantable properties. That doesn't exist for the condo-tail types of properties that we're talking for the most part. Not that they all fit into that realm, but for the most part, they do. So your options are mostly with some of the local banks that we've got in town. They created what are called portfolio programs, where they're going to give you a loan today, not going to sell it. You're going to continue with a banking relationship with that bank. So there are a handful of local banks that have that. We've got connections to all those sources, but typically 20-25% down is the norm. And the whole what you can afford process is more about kind of, you may have an idea in the back of your mind with your financial budget. Hey, I can afford $500 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever that may be. And then even when you connect with the lender, they're going to say, yes, you're approved up to X percentage. It's more about that, though. What we do with our clients, we kind of dive into really what you're comfortable with, and then how the income can effectively cover a big chunk of your mortgage. So again, if it's a cash purchase, you're really just looking at the ROI, you're just looking at the bottom line number for it, in concert with your personal use kind of taste. From the loan world, we'll kind of jump into this a little bit, and this is just one example of a property we were dealing with the other day with a client. The property itself was $149,000. The gross income was $29,000. For this particular example, it was rented on site. So remember, we talked the previous one, we talked about kind of how involved you want to be. If you're using an off-site company, maybe you're netting 80%. If you're renting it yourself, maybe you're netting 90-95%. So that'll vary a little bit. This particular example, it was rented on site. 65% was going to the owner. The HOA was $670 a month. Don't let that scare you away too much if we haven't dug into HOAs with you, but covers a whole bunch of different items. $8,000 a year for that. The taxes for this particular property were $1,750 for the year. And so in the end, before we get to kind of the bottom line number, again, if it's a cash purchase, your perfect world, your cash flow is about $9,000 a year. So take your $18,000, subtract out your HOA dues, your taxes, and you got $9,000 a year in your pocket. For this example, if we did an 80% loan, and with ballpark terms, 20-30% or 30-year term rates, 5% give or take, your mortgage is going to be roughly $675 a month or $8,100 a year. So in this particular example, again, this is with minimal to no personal usage, your positive cash flow, $9,000 a year, was actually going to cover the whole mortgage, for you. So that's why kind of what you can afford it goes way beyond what the lender tells you can afford. What we try to do with our clients is kind of back in the numbers, find what they're comfortable with. In this scenario, hey, after the 20% down, it's basically paying for itself. Again, without, if you come use it for the month of July, it's going to cut into those numbers. But that gives you a quick idea. I mean, what we do is ultimately with our clients, we get to the point where we do this analysis on 5, 10, 15 different properties that are kind of in their kind of list of favorites, and then it kind of helps us point them in the right direction for the right property. So that's a bunch of info kind of all at once. It just kind of scratches the surface and tells you a little bit more about what we do with our clients and kind of how we help them progress to finding the right property here from a cash flow, from a loan perspective. So hopefully look forward to step 4, which is the next video coming up. That's talking about it's finding the right real estate broker, right agent, but really it's more about what are the key things that you need to make sure that they know and understand in the world of second home investment properties, and kind of those key items that they need to have an education on. So look forward to it. Thanks again. It's Brian Piercy with Real Estate Modo.